The Ambush, November 30th, 1994. Times Square, New York City. The night air is cold. Neon lights flicker against wet pavement. Tupac Shakur steps out of a black sedan at 12:20 a.m., heading toward Quad Recording Studios on 7th Avenue. He's here to record a verse, a favor for a friend. The session fee, $7,000 for a single verse. Easy money. Inside the lobby, the fluorescent lights hum. Security camera mounted in the corner. Marble floors, elevator ahead. Tupac moves toward the entrance. His guard, his friends stretch somewhere behind him. Then, three men, hoodies up, faces hidden. They emerge from the stairwell. Tupac reaches for his waist. Instinct. The lobby erupts. 5 shots, 5 impacts, head, groin, hand, thigh, leg. 60 seconds. That's all it takes. Tupac collapses near the elevator. The men flee. No witnesses step forward. No one saw anything. But Tupac sees everything clearly now. Lying there, ears ringing, vision blurred. He knows. This wasn't random. This was a setup. Upstairs in Studio C, his friends are recording. Biggie Smalls, Puffy Combs, Andre Harrell. They knew he was coming. They had to know. Tupac drags himself into the elevator, presses the button. The doors close. When they open on the second floor, he stumbles out. His crew rushes toward him, shock on their faces. But Tupac is already reading the room, measuring their reactions, cataloging every expression. Who called? Who knew? Who set the trap? He'll survive this night. But something dies in that lobby. Trust. The East Coast-West Coast war doesn't start here, but this is where it becomes inevitable. 60 seconds that changed hip-hop forever. New York City, 1991. The streets are watching. A young Tupac Shakur steps off the tour bus, fresh from his role as a backup dancer for Digital Underground. But dancing was never the end game. His eyes burn with something different. Hunger, purpose, destiny. Juice hits theaters in 1992, and overnight Tupac becomes Bishop, the most chilling character in urban cinema. Audiences can't tell where the acting ends and the man begins. Directors take notice. The industry takes notice. The streets definitely take notice. But Tupac isn't content with Hollywood. He's got something to prove on the mic. Tupacalypse Now drops like a Molotov cocktail into the mainstream. Raw, political, dangerous. Vice President Dan Quayle calls for its ban. Tupac smiles. Nothing validates art like fear from the powerful. Strictly for My NIA goes platinum in 1993. The world is his. But Tupac isn't just collecting checks. He's collecting people. Real people. Street soldiers, activists, artists. And in the studio late nights in Manhattan, he meets Christopher Wallace. Biggie Smalls, 2 kings, 1 coast. For now they're brothers. Biggie crashes at Tupac's crib. They share verses, share dreams, share a vision of what hip-hop could become. Tupac schools him on the industry. Biggie shows him the Brooklyn hustle. It's pure. It's genuine. But loyalty is Tupac's religion and his curse. He can't abandon the streets that raised him, even as his star ascends. He rolls deep everywhere. Bodyguards, hangers-on, real ones and fakes. The line blurs. By 1994, he's untouchable. Me Against the World is recorded between court dates and controversies. Every headline makes him bigger. Every scandal makes him realer. The establishment wants him silenced. The streets want him louder. He walks through New York like he owns it, because in this moment, he does. Tupac Shakur isn't just a rapper or an actor anymore. He's a movement. He's a threat. He's mythology in motion. But in the shadows, something is shifting. Jealousy, misunderstanding. The streets are watching, and not everyone is rooting for the king. The city that built him is about to test him in ways he never imagined. November 1994 is approaching, and nothing will ever be the same. November 30th, 1994. Quad Recording Studios, 7th Avenue, Manhattan, the night that fractured hip-hop forever. Tupac Shakur arrives at 12:25 a.m. He's there to record a verse for Little Sean, a favor. Easy money. He enters the lobby alone. His crew is parking the car. 3 men in army fatigues. They're waiting. They've been waiting. What happens next takes 90 seconds. 90 seconds that ignite a war. Tupac is struck 5 times: head, hand, groin, leg, thigh. He fights back. He escapes to the elevator, bleeding, crawling, desperate. The elevator rises to the second-floor studio. The doors open, and there they are. Christopher Wallace, Biggie Smalls, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, Andre Harrell, Little Sean, all of them, in the studio, safe, untouched, recording. Tupac collapses in front of them. He's looking at their faces, reading their reactions, or lack thereof. In his mind, the math is simple, too simple. They knew, they had to know. Biggie's his friend, his brother. They came up together, shared stages, shared dreams. Biggie slept on Pac's couch. Pac put Biggie on. But now, in this moment, something feels wrong. The timing, the location, their presence. Tupac is rushed to Bellevue Hospital. Surgery, recovery, arrest. He's charged in his pending sexual assault case. From the hospital bed to Rikers Island, April 1995. Clinton Correctional Facility. Tupac sits down for an interview. He's serving his sentence. But he's done being silent. He declares war. On camera, he names names. Biggie, Puffy, Uptown Records, the entire Bad Boy family. He accuses them of knowing, of setting him up, of betrayal. The evidence is circumstantial. The proof is feeling. But feelings are enough to start a fire. Biggie hears the interview. He's devastated, confused, angry. He denies everything on radio, on record, to anyone who will listen. But the damage is done. The friendship is cremated. The East Coast versus West Coast narrative takes shape. Jimmy Henchman, Jacques Ignat, Haitian Jack. These names surface in the aftermath. Whispers, rumors, street legends with dark reputations. Was it a robbery? Was it a setup? Was it jealousy? Revenge? Tupac believes what he believes. And belief in hip-hop is more powerful than truth. The Quad Studios shooting becomes mythology, a Rubicon crossed, a point of no return. 2 friends, 2 coasts, 2 futures colliding. What happened that night in the lobby isn't just about Tupac, it's about fractured trust, misunderstood loyalty, and the way violence writes history in permanent ink. The setup, real or imagined, changed everything. The culture would never recover, neither would they. Fade in. Tupac Shakur didn't just make music, he left evidence. A lyrical autopsy, a forensic examination of his final recordings reveals something chilling. He knew. He knew who, he knew when, and he told us everything. November 1995, Quad Recording Studios. 5 shots change everything. Tupac survives, but trust dies. The question that haunted him wasn't if they'd come again, it was when. Hit 'Em Up drops June 1996, 3 months before his last breath. This isn't a diss track, it's a declaration. That's why I'm targeting you, targeting your people. He names Biggie, he names Bad Boy. He names the entire East Coast apparatus he believes betrayed him. The fury is surgical. Every bar is an accusation. Every rhyme is testimony. But listen deeper. You claim to be a player, but I took your woman. He's not just attacking. He's severing alliances, burning bridges, making enemies public. Death Row versus Bad Boy. East versus West. The battle lines are drawn in ink and base. Then comes Against All Odds, recorded weeks before September 7th, 1996, released posthumously. This is the Rosetta Stone. Puffy getting robbed like a fool, that's on the real. He's pointing fingers at Puff Daddy, at Jimmy Henchman, at Haitian Jack. Names cascade like an indictment. I heard he was light-skinned, stocky with a Haitian accent. Descriptions, dates, locations. This is witness testimony set to a beat. To live and die in LA, another posthumous revelation. Mama told me never stop until I bust back. He's not rapping about survival, he's documenting the countdown. The paranoia is palpable. Every verse drips with premonition. The unreleased vault tells an even darker story. Lost Souls surfaces years later. They got me sleeping with my infrared beams and my hand on my pistol, ready for war. He's living in a fortress of his own making. The hunted animal, the target. Thug love, with Bone Thugs. It's the thuggish, ruggish Bone, Pac, and Biggie. Let's Get It On. Recorded when they were still brothers. Before the split, before the prophecy. The irony cuts deep. Forensic linguists have analyzed every word. Criminologists have mapped every reference. The pattern is undeniable. Between 1995 and 1996, Tupac's lyrics become increasingly specific. Less metaphor, more manifest. He's leaving breadcrumbs, or building a case from beyond the grave. Blasphemy goes harder. Started as a rough rider, and they tried to break me. He references the Quad Studio incident directly. No code, no cipher, raw accusation. He believed the setup came from within the industry, that the very people who smiled in his face had marked him. Produced by Death Row, engineered by anger, mixed with vengeance. Every track from '96 carries the weight of foreknowledge. He tells Sway in an interview that same year, "I'm not saying I'm gonna change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will." The most haunting, the unreleased When I Get Free, never commercially released. When I get free, I'm gonna shake up the industry like a curse. Future tense, conditional, he never got free. September 7th, 1996, Las Vegas, Flamingo Road. Everything he predicted comes to pass. 6 days later, September 13th, he's gone. The prophecy fulfilled, but the bars remain. Evidence in a case that will never close. Names in a book that will never be forgotten. Tupac Shakur didn't just predict his demise, he documented it, archived it, and left it for us to decode. The question isn't whether he knew. The question is, did we listen? Fade out. November 30th, 1994. Quad Recording Studios, Times Square. Tupac Shakur walks into a lobby. He walks out a changed man. 5 triggers pulled, 5 trajectories altered, 5 reasons for a war that would consume everything. This wasn't random. This was calculated. And in those seconds, as Tupac crawled to the elevator, bleeding out on marble floors, a clock started ticking. A countdown nobody could stop. He survived. But trust died in that lobby. Tupac pointed fingers. Biggie, Puffy, Bad Boy Records. Whether they pulled triggers or not didn't matter anymore. In Tupac's mind, they knew. They let it happen, and that was enough. Prison came next. Rikers Island. 11 months of rage, isolation, and paranoia. While Biggie's career skyrocketed, Tupac rotted in a cell, watching his former friend rise on the same charts he once dominated. Then came the deal. Suge Knight, Death Row Records, freedom for loyalty, $300,000 bail. But nothing's free. Tupac traded one cage for another. West Coast versus East Coast. Death Row versus Bad Boy. But this wasn't about geography. This was personal. This was Tupac versus the world that betrayed him. Hit 'em Up dropped like a declaration of war. No metaphors, no subliminals, pure venom. Tupac didn't just attack Biggie's music, he attacked his wife, his crew, his legacy. Lines were crossed that could never be uncrossed. The media fed on it. Magazine covers, radio interviews, every diss track amplified. They turned art into ammunition and sold it back to kids in the suburbs. This wasn't hip-hop anymore. This was blood sport, and everyone wanted front row seats. Vegas. September 7th, 1996. Mike Tyson fight. Luxor Hotel. Tupac in the passenger seat of a BMW. Suge Knight driving. Red light on Flamingo Road. A white Cadillac pulls alongside. 14 shots. 4 connect. Tupac's lung collapses. 6 days later, the world stops. Tupac Shakur, 25 years old, gone. The butterfly effect completes its arc. Brooklyn, March 9th, 1997. Less than 6 months later. Biggie Smalls, leaving a party, stopped at a red light, a dark Impala, 4 shots, 1 to the heart. Christopher Wallace, 24 years old, the notorious B.I.G. silenced forever. 2 kings, 2 coasts, 2 unsolved cases. The dominoes that fell from that November night in 1994 crushed everyone in their path. A generation orphaned. Hip-hop's greatest voices extinguished before 30. The music they left behind still echoes, still bleeds, still asks the question nobody wants to answer. Was any of it worth it? Quad Studios started it. Vegas ended Tupac. Brooklyn ended Biggie. But the butterfly effect, that never stopped. It just keeps spreading, wider, darker, forever.